Yeah. Okay, so as I mentioned, I'm going to be doing the casting of my mould, and what I've done to set up with that is I basically got myself my face cast and the bucket that I've put a load of sort of stuffing, fabric stuffing, or it can be newspaper or tissue or something that you have lying around, just to create sort of a bed that this can sit flat in as it moulds, so it sort of holds it in place. You know it's not going to go anywhere as you're casting it and as it's setting. You also want to use a container for mixing. I chose to do a just general drink bottle, 1.75 litre, and just cut the top off, and that way I'm not ruining any containers that I own. This can just be tossed out afterwards, just to mix the plaster. I've gone and bought just some plaster of Paris, and obviously you guys are going to have something different. You just follow the instructions according to whatever you buy. I'm going to be following these ones. And one other thing that I did buy as well, seeing as I didn't want to risk this messing up, was this, if it's going to focus. Where's the focus? There's the focus. This sort of demoulding Vaseline that's specifically designed for removing plaster from itself. It actually says that on the back, and that's something that you want to check if you buy something like this. Otherwise you can look online, see if anyone has any sort of DIY make do and mend sort of solutions for this, but I figured, seeing as it's the first time I'm actually doing a cast of plaster from a plaster mould, I wanted to play it safe, so went and bought that. I've got everything set up. I've got these two little cups just for measuring, one for water, one for plaster. That way I know that I'm getting even amounts because they're both equal containers. And yeah, just sort of going to get started, show you how I'm doing this, what I make a mess of, and what you guys can do to not do the same mistakes that I make if I make any. So yeah, just a small opening. Okay. And this does make a mess, so do sort of wear messy clothes and work in an area that can get a bit plastery, or sort of lay something down if you're worried about it making a mess. So this is 3 parts plaster to 2 parts water. It says it takes about 40 minutes to dry, but I'm going to leave mine overnight just to be that little bit extra safe and sure that it's all behaving. So yeah, it does take a bit of sort of time just to get the plaster to go. It kind of just sort of sits in the bag, and you have to sort of encourage it on its way because it's lazy and it doesn't want to get out of bed in the morning. It's like a teenager. I don't really know what I'm talking about, but hey. So yeah, got my first plaster. Just need to remember the line I went up to. Two parts. And coming up, whoops, on 3 parts. Now if you're confident with your measuring skills, you can use the same container. I have a second one just in case I need to put in a bit more, or of plaster, and that way obviously it's not going to stick to the water. This is not drinking water I'm using, it's tap water in a drinking bottle, just so I have everything here and with me. Three parts plaster, 2 parts water. That's something I did forget, you want to get yourselves a stick to mix it. So I'll be right back. So I've gone and got myself a stick, just so I can another plus side I've just learnt to a Coke bottle, or whatever bottle you tend to decide to use. If you have quite a tight thing, it's like a splash barrier, so you can make a bit more effort in the mixing without having to worry about the cleanup after. Yeah, you just want to make sure, especially if you have all these, that you get the stuff that sits in the bottom of each of them. So just really work it, and don't be afraid to sort of get right in there. You can also use something a bit smaller than this if you really want to make sure that you've got everything. I'm just going to leave that because I realised I need to do this. So this goes in there. Just have a brush just so I can really work it in and over sort of everywhere. Because obviously it's all going to try and pool in the nose, and you don't want just the nose to be and I forgot to wash the brush properly. Ah well. Maybe it'll be skin tone when it comes out. That'll be quite cool. Accidental casting hack. Use a dirty brush and you get probably going higher than I'm actually going to fill, but obviously you want to have more than enough covered so that when it actually comes to filling, you can fill as much as you want and not have to sort of pause and add some more in. So yeah, really just make sure that you don't go easy on this. Because the last thing you want is to spend all this time making all these things, casting it, waiting for it to set, and then suddenly it's not coming apart. Because that would be really, really frustrating. I'm probably using more than I actually need to, but I am, like I said, just wanting to be absolutely certain that the entire thing is covered. Because knowing my luck, I'm going to miss one little area and it's just going to stick and it's going to make my life miserable and it's going to just ruin all the hard work because just, yeah, that's how it always seems to go. But yes, that's all Vaselined up. Figure out sort of where you want, like what line of your face that you want cast. And then plaster. Pour. So I've just poured in a thin bit. I'm just sort of swishing it around just to coat the inside, tapping it to make sure there aren't too many air bubbles if I can help it. And just praying that this works. Kind of using the swish as well to sort of mark out where I want to fill the whole thing to. There was actually instructions on this, so I hope I used it right. But yeah, just pouring in the rest. Alright, so I'm just going to mix up another quick batch. So just stirring in with the stick just to try and encourage all the air bubbles up to the top, because you don't want air bubbles in the finished piece. See, I'm leaning it a little bit more towards the forehead rather than the chin, because obviously once you reach your chin you know where you are. Your forehead is a little bit more sort of give and take in that area, so I want to get a little bit more of the plaster set there. I will have a bit of sort of flash around the edge that I'll need to sort of sand down, but for now just leave it, don't move it unless you realise that it's off, and then move it as quickly as you can. Bed it down and just leave it for 24 hours at the moment if you want. Otherwise you can just sort of leave it for what the bag says if you are in a hurry or are impatient. But yeah, that's that for now. I will probably make another section of this once this is dried, of me trying to get it out, and yeah, enjoy.